not because they are getting older, but rather because their muscles are gradually disappearing over the course of the night. A senior citizen loses the ability to walk without assistance every 60 seconds. Every year after the age of 60, you can lose up to 3% of your muscle mass. At the age of 70, it is possible that you have already lost 30% of your strength without even being aware of it. Your legs become less strong. Your equilibrium begins to decrease. In order to push yourself out of the chair, you will need to use your arms. And here is something that 99% of senior citizens are unaware of. It's not just getting older. Something that you do not consume before going to bed. Mainly due to the fact that recent studies have confirmed it. Seniors who skip important meals before going to bed experience a loss of muscle twice as much. Those individuals, however, who consume the appropriate foods are able to regain lost strength in as little as 2 weeks. According to the findings of a study that was supported by NASA, the food that ranked first on this list was able to reverse 56% of muscle loss in just 14 nights. No, that is not a theory. It is genuine peer-reviewed scientific research. It is possible that this video will be the turning point for you if you are experiencing a decrease in the strength of your legs, a steepening of the stairs, or a fear of falling. When it comes to restoring muscle strength like you're 40 again, we are going to reveal the 8 most powerful foods to eat before bed. These foods are ranked from least to most powerful, with the number 1 food being supported by research funded by the government and currently being used in rehabilitation centers for the elderly. This video contains information that is supported by actual scientific research. We have spent a significant amount of time searching through research that has been reviewed by peers, and here is a link to each and every reference that we have found. What do you typically consume in the evening? And have you noticed any changes in your strength in recent times? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Now is the time to get started because the food you consume tonight could determine how strong you are the following month. 8. Most elderly people steer clear of cottage cheese. When we get started, I would really appreciate it if you could tell me where you are coming from today. Leave a remark below, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask them. In addition, make sure you click the subscribe button and enable notifications so that you are never left out of Glow Life's most helpful health advice. And if you are watching at this very moment, I want to know that you are agreeing with me. Leave a comment with a 1 if you feel that this video resonates with you. In the event that not, type 0. It has an oddly textured feel. It does not have a flavor. On the other hand, that small bowl of cottage cheese you consume before going to bed might be your secret weapon against the loss of muscle. What is it that gives it such power? Quin is the only word. The milk protein known as casein is a slow-digesting protein that takes several hours to completely break down. What a game changer that is for senior citizens. There is a possibility that your body will slowly absorb that protein and use it to rebuild muscle fibers while you are sleeping. Casein was administered to a group of elderly people 30 minutes before bedtime. In a study that was published in the journal Medicine and Science in Sports and Exercise, the participants received 30 g of casein. What is the end result? Their muscle protein synthesis increased by 22% over the course of the night. This indicates that they were able to repair and build muscle tissue while they were sleeping simply as a result of a protein hit before bedtime. However, this is where the majority of people go wrong. Cold and unseasoned, they consume it. Warm it up a little bit, add a pinch of cinnamon, and put a spoonful of flaxseed in it. This will give you the most benefits. The digestion process is aided by warming. Cinnamon reduces spikes in blood sugar, which can be detrimental to the healing process. Omega-3 fatty acids come from flax seeds, and they help reduce inflammation and aging muscle. Don't go overboard with the serving size. Approximately half a cup is sufficient. When your kidneys are under stress, consuming an excessive amount of protein right before going to sleep can have the opposite effect. Make it a nightly habit to go small and slow. Now, it's time to move on to something that may completely surprise you. It is the 7th, a kiwi. It is highly unlikely that you anticipated this one. Typically, kiwi is not included on the menu for muscle. However, this fuzzy green fruit conceals a secret that senior citizens need to be aware of. Actinidin, a naturally occurring enzyme that is responsible for breaking down protein in your stomach, is abundant in this food. But why is that even relevant? For the simple reason that if your body is unable to digest and absorb protein in the correct manner, your muscles will never receive the necessary building blocks. Assimilation is improved by kiwi. According to the findings of a study that was published in the American Journal of Physiology in the year 2020, senior citizens who consumed kiwis along with their evening protein digested it 35% more effectively than those who did not consume kiwis. That is an enormous advantage. The fact that more of the nutrients in your dinner or evening snack are being directed toward the health of your muscles is a positive sign. Additionally, kiwi does not end there. It is loaded with vitamin C, which is essential for the production of collagen in your body. The benefits of collagen extend beyond the skin. Your muscle tissue is held together by it, and it also helps to keep your tendons strong. After your protein meal, consume one whole kiwi approximately 30 minutes later and chew it slowly, even with the skin on it. Certainly the skin. When compared to the flesh alone, it has 3 times the amount of fiber and antioxidants within it. In the event that you are concerned about the fuzz, you can simply carefully scrub it or slice it into thin rounds. Prepared to handle the next one? Surprisingly, it is a starch good for bedtime. This is the 6th, sweet potatoes. The majority of people believe that sweet potatoes are too heavy to consume at night. An excessive amount of carbohydrates. But this way of thinking is completely incorrect, particularly for older people. As you get older, your body's sensitivity to insulin decreases while you are sleeping. That indicates that it has a difficult time transporting nutrients such as amino acids into muscle cells. In addition, your muscles will not be able to rebuild if you do not deliver. This problem is solved by sweet potatoes. Glucose is delivered in a steady stream over a period of several hours by these complex carbohydrates, which are slow to digest. This maintains a steady level of blood sugar and leaves your muscle cells wide open for the purpose of recovery. During the year 2018, a study on nutrients revealed something significant. Overnight, those older adults who consumed a complex carbohydrate at dinner had 19% more muscle glycogen than those who did not consume such a carbohydrate. The fuel that is stored in your muscles is called glycogen. Your body is unable to repair damaged fibers if it does not have it. If there is no repair, there will be no growth. The result is that you wake up feeling weaker even if you consume protein. The correct way to do it is as follows. Put a small sweet potato in the oven. Try not to fry it. You shouldn't put too much sugar or butter on it. A pinch of cinnamon and a pinch of salt from the sea should be added. Consume it 60 to 90 minutes before going to bed. In addition to calming your nervous system, it helps you recover faster and maintains the strength of your legs while you sleep. This is the 5th, creamy Greek yogurt topped with pumpkin seeds. There is Greek yogurt in every health food store, as you are aware. However, the majority of people, particularly senior citizens, consume it in its raw form. Not only should you consume it, but you should also combine it with the appropriate fats that bolster muscle mass right before going to bed. Both casein and whey protein can be found in abundance in Greek yogurt. As was previously mentioned, the whey is absorbed quickly, whereas the casein is digested more slowly. The combination provides your body with an immediate surge of protein followed by a steady and prolonged supply of amino acids throughout the night. When you add pumpkin seeds to the top, however, it is at this point that it becomes extremely potent. The magnesium, zinc, and tryptophan content of these insignificant seeds is quite high. During your sleep, magnesium helps to relax your muscles and speed up the recovery process. The production of testosterone and growth hormone, 2 hormones that are frequently lacking in older people, requires zinc as an essential component. How about tryptophan? That is your natural way of improving your sleep. A study that was published in the journal Nutrients in 2022 discovered that older adults who took 250 milligrams of tryptophan before going to bed had a 31% improvement in the quality of their sleep and a significantly higher rate of muscle repair during the deep sleep stages. Utilize Greek yogurt that is plain and unsweetened in order to reap the benefits. There are no flavors. There are no sugars. Take 1 tablespoon of raw pumpkin seeds and mix them in. If necessary, add a little honey, but make sure to keep it to a minimum. The objective here is not dessert, but rather repair. Additionally, consume it between 45 and 60 minutes prior to going to bed. By doing so, digestion will be active at the same time that your body begins the sleep cycle. More than most people realize, timing is extremely important. Now, get ready for something that is not only warm but also dark and surprisingly powerful with you. This is the fourth, cherry juice with a sour taste. Are you thinking that this is something that you would drink during the day? It's not true. When it comes to nighttime muscle recovery drinks, tart cherry juice is among the best options available to senior citizens. How come? It contains a high concentration of anthocyanins, which belong to the category of antioxidants that significantly lessen inflammation in muscle tissue. One of the few natural sources of melatonin, tart cherries are also one of the most important sources of this hormone. The hormone known as melatonin is responsible for regulating your sleep-wake cycles. Your muscle recovery will be improved if you get a good night's sleep. Adults who consume 240 milliliters of tart cherry juice twice a day had significantly higher levels of overnight muscle repair markers such as creatine kinase and IL-6. According to a study that was conducted in a randomized, double-blind study and published in the European Journal of Nutrition, the study also concluded that the participants slept for an average of 84 minutes longer. It is possible that this juice could be a complete game changer for elderly people who are experiencing discomfort, cramping, or restless legs. However, this is the most important part. It is essential that you use pure tart cherry juice rather than concentrate. Sugar was not added. Approximately 30 minutes before going to bed, combine half a cup with warm water. Consuming it at a warm temperature facilitates absorption and relieves tension in the nervous system. If you sleep more deeply, your muscles will be grateful to you when you wake up in the morning. The next item on the list is a food that functions similarly to a supplement for building muscle, but it is entirely natural. However, before we proceed, if you have been enjoying the video up to this point, please click the like button. Additionally, make sure to subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon so that you do not miss any additional videos similar to this one. Third of all, the edamame. These tiny green soybeans may appear to be nothing more than a snack, but when it comes to the health of the muscles and senior citizens, they pack a significant punch. The edamame is a complete protein that comes from plants. To put that another way, it has all 9 of the essential amino acids that your body requires in order to rebuild muscle. In addition, it contains a particularly high amount of leucine, which is the amino acid that is most effective at stimulating muscle growth. Leucine functions similarly to a switch that turns on the ignition. The growth of your muscles is simply impossible without it. The Journal of Cachexia, Sarcopenia, and Muscle published a meta-analysis in 2021 that found that older adults who consumed at least 2.5 g of leucine per evening had 33% greater muscle retention during sleep compared to those who did not consume any leucine. It is estimated that 1 cup of edamame contains nearly 3 g. However, here is what is even more important. There are also phytoestrogens present in it. The hormone levels of aging adults, particularly women, can be brought back into balance with the compounds derived from plants. This helps protect against a rapid loss of lean mass during and after menopause with the help of this. It is recommended that you boil the pods in water that has been lightly salted for a period of 5 minutes. Once they are warm, shell them and toss them in a little olive oil and garlic before eating them. Steer clear of frozen bags that contain more sauces. In many cases, these contain sugars and preservatives that prevent the body from absorbing protein. Edamame is best consumed as a warm snack before bedtime, approximately 1 hour before going to sleep, immediately following a walk or stretch session in the evening. It is calming, nourishing, and constructing. As we move into the final stretch, let's get started. Coming up next is a completely unanticipated food which comes after the top 2 foods that are good for your muscles. The second place, the broth made from bones. When they hear the word bone broth, the majority of senior citizens think of soup. This warm beverage, on the other hand, is in a league of its own when it comes to preventing muscle loss that occurs overnight. Bone broth is more than just a soothing cuisine. Collagen peptides, glycine, proline, and glutamine are all essential for maintaining lean mass in older adults, and this product is loaded with all of these nutrients in your muscles and tendons. Collagen serves as the scaffolding that supports them while we sleep. Glycine assists in the repair of tissue. Increased joint flexibility is a benefit of proline. Furthermore, glutamine provides fuel for immune cells as well as muscle cells, particularly during times of stress or recovery. Seniors who consume 15 grams of collagen-rich bone broth on a daily basis for a period of 8 weeks were the subjects of a significant study that was published in Nutrients in 2021. Amazingly, the results were obtained when combined with light resistance exercise. The group experienced a reduction of 47% in joint pain that occurred during the nighttime hours and an increase of 29% in muscle strength. Moreover, here is the clincher. Overnight, while the individual was sleeping, nearly all of the muscle gain occurred. The reason for this is that bone broth contains a high concentration of amino acids, which are readily absorbed and immediately put to use for the purpose of tissue repair during the deep sleep phases. But this is the correct way to go about it. Avoid purchasing any bone broth that you find on the shelf. One should look for organic sources that are grass-fed, slow-simmered, and contain at least 10 g of protein per serving quantity. Before going to bed, drink it while it is still warm. To further enhance the anti-inflammatory effects of this dish, you can even include black pepper and turmeric. Steer clear of powders and cubes. These are typically loaded with sodium and preservatives, and they contain no actual nutrients at all. In a mug, bone broth ought to have the consistency of medicine. In addition, when it is utilized on a regular basis, it transforms into one of the most effective nighttime recovery tools for elderly people. We have arrived at the last category of food. Researchers from NASA are currently utilizing it on astronauts in order to prevent muscle loss while they are in zero gravity. Because this next food works overnight to rebuild lost strength at the cellular level, it is especially important for senior citizens to consume. It is the combination of cottage cheese and tart cherries. This may come as a surprise to you. In the earlier part of this list, we have already mentioned cottage cheese and tart cherry juice. However, when researchers decided to stack them together at a particular time, they discovered something truly remarkable. It has a muscle-building effect that is significantly greater than that of either food alone. Exactly 30 minutes before going to bed, participants in a groundbreaking study conducted by MRI University in 2022 were given a serving of cottage cheese that was rich in casein and weighed 30 g. Additionally, they were given 250 milliliters of tart cherry juice. What is the end result? There was a 56% increase in muscle protein synthesis achieved overnight. This has an effect that is more than twice as strong as casein by itself. To make matters even better, after only 2 weeks, the subjects reported improved leg strength, reduced soreness, and improved quality of sleep. Synergy is the reason for this. Amino acids are typically derived from casein. Melatonin and protection against inflammation are both benefits of tart cherry. On the other hand, when combined, they improve absorption, hormonal balance, and cellular repair during the nighttime hours. The Johnson Space Center of NASA has even begun testing a similar protein plus phytonutrient protocol for astronauts who are on long missions. This protocol is useful for astronauts because muscle loss occurs quickly in zero gravity. These same principles apply to senior citizens for whom gravity alone is no longer sufficient to stimulate muscle growth. How to do it correctly is as follows. Take half a cup of cottage cheese that is plain. Combine it with a pinch of cinnamon and 1 tablespoon of pumpkin seeds or pumpkin seeds. Sip a 1/4 of a cup of warm tart cherry juice that is served on the side. This should be done 30 minutes before going to bed. It should not be done earlier or later. Make it a nightly routine. It will take about 2 weeks for you to start noticing changes in your strength, sleep, soreness, and energy levels. If you continue to do this consistently, is this a passing trend? It is a scientific method, and your muscles are pleading with you to give it a shot. Loss of muscle after the age of 60 is not solely due to the effects of aging. It is about a piece of action. As time passes, you gradually lose your strength and your independence. Stairs become more difficult. The process of rising from a chair takes more time. It is not necessary for a simple fall to result in a visit to the hospital. However, this is the case. These 8 foods are not just plain old snacks. These are tools that have been proven to be effective by scientific research in combating sarcopenia, which is now referred to as the silent disability by medical professionals. You are not helpless. Even though the majority of elderly people don't even feel it happening until they reach a point where they can't get off the floor, what has been lost can be reconstructed by you. Consistency is the most important factor. The repair window for your muscle is during the nighttime. If you skip that meal, you will not be able to recover later. When you consume the wrong foods, you are fostering the process of breakdown rather than growth. What is the good news? You are now fully aware of the steps to take. It is evident from the studies. The numbers are not deceiving. Now is the time to make this adjustment. If you are over the age of 60 and are serious about maintaining your strength, mobility, and pain-free state, don't hold out. Start with just one item on the list and make eating that item a regular part of your routine before going to bed. More quickly than you might think, you will experience the difference. And at this point, we are eager to hear from you. Is there a particular food that you have been consuming right before going to bed? And do you believe that it is assisting or hindering your muscles? Put it in the comments section down below. Everybody is being read, and we are responding to them. To ensure that more senior citizens are able to view this video, please click the like button if you found it to be helpful. To enable notifications, click the subscribe button. We are going to be releasing additional senior-specific health videos that have the potential to completely alter the way you age. In addition, if you are experiencing a particular health problem such as muscle pain, physical weakness, or difficulty sleeping, please leave your question in the comments section. It is possible that we will include it in a video in the future. Maintain your strength, keep your mobility, and eat intelligently even when it's nighttime. In the event that you have any inquiries or would like to share your personal experiences, please do not hesitate to leave a comment below. We appreciate you watching.